Hello there, I'm Baron Bones, and today we're going to be talking about two movies. That's right, a rare double feature for my show. And there's a couple reasons for that. Chief among them being that I accidentally skipped last week without meaning to. I ran into some difficulties. So I decided I would lump together the film I saw last week with the film I saw this week. Without further ado, let's delve into them, starting with the film I saw this week in Passenger. And I'm starting off with it because it's the weaker of the two movies. So, Passenger is directed by Andre Overhaul and follows this couple who are living their van lifestyle. They're 2 months into said lifestyle when they witness a crash, stop to see what happens, and end up becoming attached to this demonic demon who decides to follow them wherever they go. Yeah, this is a dime a dozen demon haunting movies. There's really nothing new in Passenger that you haven't seen before. The only difference is that this movie's on the road, making it more mobile than other films in this particular type of horror genre. That could be interesting if they did anything interesting with that concept, but they don't. In fact, they don't do anything interesting at all, in my opinion. This film is poorly paced. It starts off with a wonderful intro, and then meanders for about 20 minutes, and it has that off-putting pace for the entirety of the runtime. Until the end, when it starts to go at a breakneck speed, that just feels unwarranted. Also, the characters are just not that interesting. What's frustrating about this movie is that the visuals aren't bad. There's actually some decent gore effects here. It's just they don't do enough with them to keep your interest involved. The performers are trying, but they're not given anything to really work with. And you know that intro I talked about? Yeah, if you've seen the trailer, you've seen the intro to this movie. The problem with that is that that's the best part of this film. So if you've seen the trailer, you've seen the best part of this movie. Which is a letdown, to say the least. At the end of the day, Passenger is just a generic nothing horror movie that you've definitely seen before. Yes, it has an interesting twist on the concept by making it a road trip, but it doesn't do anything with that idea. Nothing that really is solid and makes it stand above the rest of the films in the genre. At the end of the day, it's kind of a skip. Unlike the other movie I'm going to be talking about, Obsession. So Obsession was directed by Curry Baker, and pretty much the film follows this kid who's in love with this girl, decides he wants to confess to her, but is such a nervous wreck that he can't get the words out, even though he actually might have a shot if the film is anything to go by. However, because he can't get it out, he, in frustration, breaks this thing called One Wish Willow, which supposedly would grant him a wish. That wish he ends up saying, well, breaking that One Wish Willow is to have that girl love him more than anything else in the world. Yeah, the phrasing on that wish. Luckily, it's done in frustration, so I don't have a complaint about this guy not thinking about his wish before he makes it. He did not think it was going to work, and he was frustrated because he couldn't get his words out that he wanted to say. This leads down a dark path as this girl starts to become obsessed with him beyond the point of reason. And it just it creates such just a toxic environment, and she starts to become something that he never wanted her to become. It is quite an interesting and simple movie. At the end of the day, Obsession is a very simple film. There's a lot of twists and turns with the concept, but you do relatively see them coming. You probably have a good idea of where this film is going to go, But what makes this film work is pacing. The pacing in this movie is such well done that I cannot stress that I didn't feel bored at all while watching Obsession. And I really felt on the edge of my seat as the turmoil started to grow, as the tension started to build. Furthermore, the visuals in this film are also spectacular. Again, wonderfully simple camera work on display here, with the use of shadows, the use of lighting to convey the atmosphere. And I cannot stress how wonderfully simple this film is. Like, there is nothing here that we haven't seen before, but it's done so well that it surpasses all expectations. The performances are also spectacular across the board. The actress performing our main girl has a lot to do, and a lot of the film is on her performance. I unfortunately cannot pronounce the actress's name, and I don't feel like insulting her by trying. But I cannot stress that her performance is what makes or breaks this film at times. And she has a lot of this film on her shoulders, and she manages to deliver every turn and every step of the way. I cannot stress, I was not expecting to like Obsession. I heard the entire concept and was like, this sounds like something I've seen before. And largely, on paper, this isn't a hugely original concept. We have seen stuff like this. It's done so well that I was left feeling aghast at how well they managed to make this movie. At the end of the day, Obsession is really worth the watch, and I would go on to say that it's probably one of the best, if not the best, horror film we've had all year so far. And I definitely say it's a must-watch if you're a horror fan, and I definitely recommend it. So if you're looking for a horror movie to watch, and you're deciding between Passenger and Obsession, by all means, pick Obsession. Ignore Passenger's existence, as it will disappoint you. Obsession will not. Anyway, that's my opinion on those two films. If you've seen them, what do you think about them? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, stay terrified.